Hey, it's Mark. I want to talk with you today about contracting. You've cut a deal, you're happy with its terms, or at least you're happy enough to have entered into that agreement. How does the agreement get changed? Now, in particular, I'm not focusing on a deal between one party on one side, one company, one individual, and one company or individual on the other side, where it's going to get changed one of two ways, and that is that either both parties agree to amend it, or it's going to get changed in the ultimate way, which is something inherent in American law as a result of the fact that our legal system, with one small exception, is based on the traditions of British law before that, common law, and that is that a party to a contract has a right to breach it. So contracts can be amended in the sense that one party can just simply blow it off. Now, the price of that is being liable for damages, so it's not a free pass. So instead, what I want to focus on in terms of changing an agreement, amending an agreement, is an agreement between multiple parties. So a primary example would be a shareholders agreement. It could be in a medical group, it could be a similar agreement, an LLC agreement in connection with a facility deal, a surgery center, or so on. But focus for a moment on the example where there are multiple parties, many parties, more than two, who've entered into a contract, say to engage in a common venture. Now, there's two countervailing interests here. One of them is that the deal remain the deal. In other words, the parties, for the most part, enter into an agreement of that sort, having established the rules, and there's a benefit to knowing that those rules are going to continue to be in place. But at the same time, it's not always possible that you've pre-identified every single fact pattern, every single threat to the business, every single circumstance, and so you might well want to amend the agreement. The question then becomes, what's the barrier to amend the agreement? So, in the medical group instance, you often see shareholders agreement, for example, or partnership agreements that require some very high supermajority in order to change the terms of the deal. Say 75%, 80%, even unanimity. The problem is that those high barriers, which seem at the onset to be protections against the minority being screwed over by the majority, easily become impermeable barriers to making a necessary change later on, a change that could save the business of the partnership. So you have to evaluate very carefully. It's not boilerplate. You have to evaluate very carefully what percentage vote, what consent is needed to amend an agreement. You may think that you're saving the deal, when in reality, you might be saving the deal, but killing the business, killing the practice, killing the venture.